everybody, Rachel Mikulov here from Empire Tax Professionals. Just wants to go live really quick to share lots of massive information with my Facebook friends and family. So today I want to go over the key things that you need to do to save money on your taxes and be compliant with the IRS. If you have any questions, let me know. Comment below where you're coming live from, just so we could get more engagement and other people can listen in and just gain more knowledge. So first, I just want to quickly introduce myself and let everybody know what we do and who we are. So I'm the CEO of Empire Tax Professionals, and we help Amazon sellers, digital marketers, real estate professionals, and a lot of other businesses with lots of services. Now, for those of you who are coming on, I'm going to go over a few things about what we do, who we serve, how we help them save thousands of dollars in taxes, and then I'm going to give you specific tips that you can do on your own so you can save taxes on your own. So again, I'm the CEO of Empire Tax Professionals, and we help so many business owners literally worldwide. I'm also licensed by the IRS, and I have people on my team who are licensed by the IRS to help business owners save thousands of dollars in taxes. Now, what we do is we help business owners with monthly bookkeeping services, payroll tax returns, sales tax returns, and sales tax returns in multi-states, because a lot of accountants, they just take care of one state because most CPAs are licensed in one state, but a licensed enrolled agent is licensed in 50 states. So we help our clients with tax planning, where we let you know what you need to do so you could save money on your taxes for the entire year. We help our clients with corporate returns, individual returns, IRS notices, your questions, support, and if you have a property that you want to submit an offer to, or if you have a house that you want to purchase, we help you gather all of your documentation so you can get approved for the home that you want or the building that you're looking to purchase. We also help you with entity selection. We look at, should you be a C Corp? Should you be an S Corp? Should you be a single member LLC or a multi-member LLC? We go over all of that. And the reason that I'm telling you this is not to show off or anything like that, but I really mean it when I say we're a full service tax and accounting firm. There are a lot of accountants out there that just do taxes at the end of the year, or they just do bookkeeping at the end of the year, and they don't really help clients, or they don't really help business owners with everything. They don't help them with payroll. They don't help them let them know how much payroll they should be paying themselves. And these little things, when there's a miscommunication, you end up paying more money in taxes. So I'm going to let you know exactly what we do and what every single service really means. And if you're making more than $10,000 a month, you 100% need a service, either my service or you need a service like myself, where you have everything under one company. I don't care if you end up hiring us or end up hiring, someone else, but if you're making more than $10,000 a month and you have, a separate bookkeeper, you have someone else doing your payroll, you have someone else preparing your returns at the end of the year, you 100% are overpaying in your taxes, and you're overpaying in fees because now you need to pay 3 people instead of 1, and you're actually working more because you're going to be communicating between 3 people. So monthly bookkeeping services, what does that mean, and how do we help our clients? How do we, what does it mean? Because a lot of clients are confused and they don't know what that means. So monthly bookkeeping services, we email our clients their reports every single month. Now, when you get the reports, it is your responsibility to review the reports and say, okay, how much money did I make for the year? What are my expenses? How much money do I pay to my employees? Are they worth it, right? You want to know if you're getting the highest ROI on your employees or even on your independent contractors. You want to know if you have any subscriptions that you need to cancel. And, maybe there's something out of your account that you completely forgot to cancel. And now because you did not look at your monthly reports, you're overpaying. And obviously because of that, your profits are less, right? I don't know if you guys saw my post yesterday, but I saved $110,000 for the entire year just by me looking at my profit and loss reports last month because, I'm like, I don't need this person. And I let somebody go last week who I was, overpaying, and now I hired, someone else to do it. But whatever, I don't want to really go into details, but I literally saved $110,000 for the entire year because all I did was I really looked into my profit and loss reports, and I made specific business decisions to see if they're really serving me, or does it make sense for me to continue using the service, etc. So as business owners, it is really your responsibility to look at the profit and loss reports and see, does it make sense for me to have this subscription? Can I do something for me to, can I negotiate the rate? Let's say with merchant service fees, right? There are a lot of you that are paying, 3-4%, whatever the rates are. You're overpaying on rates. Review and see, is there another company out there that could give me a better rate? Maybe you could renegotiate your rent. Maybe you can, I actually had a client who was like a large contract construction company who hired us recently, and they fired their accountant or their entry-level bookkeeper. They paid her $50,000 for the entire year. They hired us, they pay us $1,500 a month, or I think $2,000 a month, something around there. And let's say they paid us $2,000 a month, that's $24,000 for the entire year versus $50K a year for an entry-level bookkeeper. And with us, if they pay us $2,000 a month, we're doing their monthly bookkeeping, we're doing their payroll, their sales tax, their corporate returns, their multi-state companies. We're doing so much for them, and they're getting so much more value for half the cost, right? So this is what you need to do as business owners, where you want to review your profit and loss reports and in detail see what's hurting you and what's serving you, etc. I highly recommend every business owner do this on every single month, because after 2-3 months you end up wasting so much money. It's just too late to make decisions. I just say have a CEO day where you review your reports every single month and just make decisions. Do it and make it a habit, and trust me, you're going to save a lot of money. The next thing is this payroll services. So one of the biggest complaints that businesses come to us and they say, hey, Rachel, I don't know how much I need to pay myself. Or they say, I don't know, am I paying myself too much, or am I paying myself too little? I actually had people that said, I am so embarrassed, Rachel, to tell you this, but I never took a salary. Now, this is very common for business owners because you guys work so hard, you work so much, and then at the end of the day, you pay everybody, and then you forget to pay yourself, which is not the best thing, right? I actually did that when I worked in my company in the very beginning stages, because you were just like living the rat race. You were making money, paying your employees, paying your rent, and then at the end of the day, you barely had anything to pay yourself. And I recommend for you to always pay yourself first, because you're working the hardest in your company. But that's not, I recommend that, but that's not the point. The point is, when businesses come to me and they say, am I paying myself too much? And when you have a bookkeeper, a payroll robot, I call them, right? I call a bookkeeper robot too, because all they're doing is really classifying transactions, and they don't really know the tax knowledge to give advice to the business owner, right? Payroll is just a robot just as well. You go online, you let them know how much money you want to get paid, they print a paycheck, and boom, you're done, right? At the end of the year, the accountants are acting like robots too. Why are they, acting like robots? Because they just take the numbers from the bookkeeper, they prepare the returns, and then they're done. But who is giving you tax advice? Who is giving you, tax knowledge or guidance? So when our clients come to us and they have so many accountants and they've worked with several people or accountants, they say, nobody really told me how much to pay myself. Nobody really told me, nobody really went over my profit and loss reports. I never got a report in my life, somebody said. So that's crazy. And what we do is we go over with our clients and say, okay, based on the amount of money that you're making, you should really be paying yourself $20,000 for the entire year, or $30,000 for the entire year. I recently had a company who was a recruiting company, I think, and he overpaid himself by like $50,000. He paid himself $110,000 every single year. And I asked him, can you please tell me, how did you come up with that amount? And he says, I just called, this company and they just processed payroll for me. But I said, okay, you're not really answering the question. How did you come up with $110,000? And he said, he really didn't have an answer. So I said, did you know that you overpaid in taxes? I think it was like a couple of $1,000s. He overpaid in taxes every single year because he came up with a number in his mind. He thought that that was the right number and just process payroll and pay taxes. Now, processing payroll is a robotic job. Anybody could do that, and you could find a cheap service to do that because it's just robotic. But who is really going to tell you how much money or what your payroll should be every single week or month based on the income and expenses that you're making to make sure that your payroll is reasonable within the amount of money that you're making? You need the guidance. And that's how, we are different than most accounting firms. We give clients guidance and we get on the phone and we say, like I said, you made $100,000 this month or you made $20,000 this month. These are all your expenses. You have these business loans. Now we think that you should be paying yourself X amount of dollars this month. And maybe in 3 months, we can evaluate and see if you should get paid a bonus to make sure that you're helping yourself save the most money in taxes, right? So that's how we are different than most accounting firms. They're very robotic. They get everything done out of the way, but nobody really thinks. And that's why, corporations all over the world are hiring us because we guide them. We pick up the phones and we answer their questions. We support them whenever they need, with whatever they need. And we're just there for them. So payroll services, that's what I just mentioned. And then sales tax returns. So like one of the biggest issues that we see with Amazon sellers is nobody really knows where they have nexus or they don't know, they need clarity on the nexus rules, right? So again, they don't have guidance. Anybody could just hire somebody to file the sales tax returns, right? Anybody can have, you could hire an accountant and say, hey, I have nexus in California, New York, New Jersey, and in different states. But how do you know if you really have nexus there? We always recommend and what we do in our office is we do the research first. We ask specific questions to see where you have nexus. How much money did you make in those states? And then we say, okay, based on what you told us, you have nexus in these 3 states. We recommend for you to register in those states first, and then you need to file returns. A lot of business owners know what they need to do, but they don't know if they're doing the right thing. Like I mentioned with payroll, you think you should be paying yourself $100,000 for the year, but how do you know that's right? You think you need to file, and I had a guy who filed in like 48 states, and oh my God, they made such a big mess. They were not supposed to file in 48 states. He just thought I think he read an article or something, and automatically assumed that he needed to file in several states, and then we had to like unregister in those states, and he paid us double because now it was just such a waste of time. He had to register in those states. We told him that he didn't need to comply or file in those states. And then we had to close and file all those sales tax returns. It was such a mess. So it's always best for you to have experts that literally give you that solid advice. And that is what's missing in the online world. Everyone knows they know everything. Everyone knows everything's on Google, but it's really not. The information on Google is not 100% accurate. And honestly, when I went to accounting school, it's very different than what the experience shows. So you need to hire experienced professionals to really guide you and say, I've been working with the IRS for 14 years and I know what they're thinking. I know what questions they're going to ask. I know what reasonable salary is. Based on doing these things every single day, we can give you guidance based on our experience. And that's what a lot of accountants don't have. So sales tax, I just told you about. Let's talk about the next thing. So like I said, most business owners, they have a bookkeeper, like a VA that does like the bookkeeping. Then they have a payroll service provider that acts like a robot that processes payroll and spits out a paycheck. Again, that's a robotic position. And then at the end of the year, they take the bookkeeping reports from the bookkeeper and they prepare their returns. But when I speak to business owners and I say, what is your number one frustration? What is the number one thing that you're frustrated about? And they say, my accountant does not answer my calls, on time. They don't email me back or they don't call me back. Like I had a client who I spoke to him this week and he said, his accountant, the secretary actually calls back. And we're like, what? Why would the secretary call back and answer tax questions? What if the client had additional questions based on the answers that the accountant gave? It should always be a, communication with the accountant who is able to take the call and answer the questions for you. A secretary should not really be calling you back. That makes no sense. So the frustrations are, like I had a client, she said, I got IRS notices and I don't know who to go to because the bookkeeper doesn't know how to respond to IRS notices. The payroll service provider doesn't know how to respond to payroll services because most of them are salespeople, right? The software really does the work. And then at the end of the year, the accountant normally, and I know most of these accountants are like my friends, or I connect with them in conferences. And what they say is they actually take off after April 15th. They're completely unavailable. So when you get an IRS notice after tax season, what happens? Who do you go to? And with us, I literally have accountants on staff. They work 40 to 50 hours. Right now, they actually work 40 hours a week. During tax season, they work about 55 hours a week. But, you have somebody working every single day, Monday through Friday, and you say, hey, I got a notice. Can you please look at this? And within 24 to 48 hours or within 2 to 3 days, somebody reviews it. They respond to your notice and say, okay, we'll call the IRS on your behalf. And guess what? The client is in peace because now they don't need to run after 3 different people, help. And if nobody's answering them, guess what? They're now in search of a new accountant. And that's how we get most of our clients. They say, my accountant is not available. My accountant is on vacation for a month. And I got this IRS notice and I'm really afraid and I'm nervous and I don't know what to do. And when you have a business, you really need a monthly CFO service like our service or something very similar where you get a notice, you call your point of contact or you call your accountant and say, hey, I got this notice, and somebody is able to respond to you in a timely manner. The other frustration is estimated tax payments. So a lot of accountants are not really available during the year to calculate your estimated tax payments based on your actual numbers. So the number one mistake that most accountants make is they tell you to pay 100% of last year's tax. So let's say you paid $20,000 or let's say $10,000 for the entire year last year. So what they do is they print vouchers, $2,500 every single quarter, and they say, here, this is what you need to pay April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and January 15th. And they let you, then they go on vacation and you're done. But most businesses that we service, they triple their business. So now if you owed $10,000 last year, most likely you'll pay $30,000. And if you only paid $10,000 for the entire year, you're going to have a $20,000 tax bill at the end of the year. And you did not expect that, right? That's where the frustration begins. And, let's say you go to the accountant March 15th, March 1st, whatever, and you say, hey, the accountant does not know how much money you made. You were out of touch. You tell the accountant all your income and expenses, and they say, hey, you have 15 days to pay $20,000. And they go, what? How in the world did that happen? So there is a miscommunication. Clients don't really tell the accountant how much money they made, and the accountant does not know to really guide them. That's why there's a miscommunication, and the clients are really, or the clients that have these 3 different people are really frustrated. And they say, you know what, I never want to go through that again. And what happens, by the way, with the $20,000, even if you're making so much money, you have other intentions to invest it into different things. And normally you just go on a payment plan with the IRS and you end up paying interest and penalties, which is not the best thing, right? So the best thing is you have one point of contact, like in our office, and they review your monthly bookkeeping reports. They review your quarterly reports, and they say, like right now, we're working on June's estimated tax payments, and we'll say, hey, so-and-so, you made, let's say, $20,000 this quarter. You owe 20% of whatever it is, or you owe X amount of percent to IRS and then your state by June 15th. Now, again, if you have an accountant, and I promise you this is 100% accurate, they made you go based on last year's numbers, which makes no sense. This is the stupidest and the laziest way to help business owners. I mean, it's just the stupidest way. But now you always want to pay the exact amount that you owe. And you should never really get a large refund from the IRS, because why would you overpay to the IRS when you could reinvest it into marketing or whatever? You can, get you 4 times the ROI. The IRS will never give you interest for them holding your money. It makes no sense. Now, so back to that. So estimated tax payments, that's one of the biggest frustrations. And we help our clients calculate accurate estimated tax payments for them. And, so they're happy at the end of the year. They don't owe a large amount of money. They don't have a huge refund. And it's just perfect because we're looking at their reports every single month. The other frustration is guidance. Like I said, bookkeepers, they just do the transactional work. Payroll, they do the transactional work. The accountants at the end of the year, they do the transactional work. But what if you had questions during the entire year? And most business owners have questions. They don't know, should they hire their spouse, or should they convert their single member LLC into an S Corp or even a C Corp now that the tax rates are 21%, right? There's just so many questions that business owners have during the year. Should you buy a car? Should you buy a building? There's just so many questions. And if you don't have a person to ask, you may end up losing money. You may end up losing opportunities, right? Which happens. And when clients, email us and they have questions and we get back to them within 2 to 3 days, they have that peace of mind because they have the support that they need. So like I said, we help our clients with monthly bookkeeping, payroll, helping them understand how much payroll they need to pay themselves, and then actually process the payroll returns for them. We also help them with everything in QuickBooks. We reconcile everything in QuickBooks. And then we help them with the sales tax, registering for sales tax, corporate returns, individual returns, IRS notices, questions, support. Everything is under one package. It's a CFO package. And we deliver that on a monthly basis for all of our clients. So at the end of the day, there are 2 goals that I have is for all of my clients to pay the least amount of taxes and for them to be compliant, right? We don't want our clients to get a $20,000 refund and then the IRS is going to come knocking on their door. No, we want to make sure that they're always compliant. We're filing everything that we need to, and they have the peace of mind so they could work on their business and 10x their income. Okay, so here are some specific tax tips so you can apply to your business. So tax tip number 1, if you're not a client, then you want to make sure that your bookkeeping is up to date, right? You want to make sure that you're not commingling personal and business, because that's one of the biggest things that we see sometimes is, you purchase children's place, or you pay for your daycare expenses through your business. That is 100% not allowed. There's some Amazon purchases that we see that are personal. And if the IRS sees that you bought something through Amazon for your children, then you know what happens? They start questioning every single line item on the return because now you broke trust with them. You want to make sure that you're really keeping 2 separate cards and you're only purchasing your business transactions through your business account, and then you're paying for your personal transactions through your personal account, and you just keep it separate. Keep it separate, and the IRS, and the audit risks will be a lot less. Okay, so review, and also another thing. So when you review your monthly reports, like right now, once everything is reconciled and once everything is updated, then you want to review your reports, because I have a lot of clients right now that are coming to us and their bookkeeping has not been updated. They did not do anything from January up until April. So once everything is reconciled, don't completely think that it's done. It is done, but you as the business owner, you want to review the profit and loss reports and see, again, like I mentioned earlier, what expenses can you remove, and just make decisions based on that. And remember, I love Tony Robbins, and I'm sure you all know that. He says that whatever you focus on flows. So if you look at your income and you say, wow, I made $100,000 for the past 3 months, you ask yourself, what can I do to double that? What did I do for that for me to make 100K? And then in 3 months, what can I do to double that? You could write your goals based on your past and do things that did work and stop things that did not work. And then every quarter, and I really review my goals every single day. And every month I have annual goals, quarterly goals, monthly goals, and I literally read it every day before I go to sleep to make sure that I'm on point with everything that I need, that I just need to do with my life. Okay, then after you review your profit and loss reports, then you want to look at your net income. What's your net income? Do you need to pay estimated tax payments? Because the estimated tax payments are due June 15th. Most of business owners, they completely miss the first quarter, which is April 15th. So remember these dates for estimated tax payments. It's April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and then January 15th. And you want to make sure that you're paying the right amount. nothing more, nothing less. And that's how you don't overpay in taxes. Also, once you pay the estimated tax payments, you also now have an opportunity, because now you did your bookkeeping, to look to, hire a company like ourselves, where you see what ideas you're able to do to save money, and that's called tax planning. So what we do is we review the profit and loss reports, and we say, oh, your net income was $50,000 for the past 3 months, or your net income is $20,000. What can we do so we can help you save money in the year, right? If you came to me in March of next year to help you save money in taxes for this year, I won't be able to help you because the year is over. But right now, because we are in the year, you are able to do so much to save money in taxes, right? So we look at your profit and loss reports. That's what we will need. And we'll say, okay, you could hire your children, let's say. There's something called income shifting. You could hire your spouse. You could pay yourself a bonus. There's just so many things that you're able to do, and to reduce your profit legally. And it's really the things that you already have, that you already are doing. You're just not converting it to business specifically, so you can save money in taxes. And again, it's really crucial that you do this in the year and not after the year. And now is the perfect time for you to look at your numbers and save money in taxes. Then reminders, if you did not file your corporate returns for last year, or I've spoken to several clients that did not file returns for several years, you want to make sure that now is the perfect time to get them out of the way. Accountants are not the busiest right now, so now is the perfect time where you could get a discounted rate to get all of your bookkeeping up to date, all of your returns up to date, and within a few weeks you can have everything done. I remember I had a client who's an attorney. It's really funny. He did not file his returns for 10 years, and we were able to finalize it within 2 to 3 weeks. Because, I don't know if you know this, but you never want to mail all tax returns in one envelope. If you have multiple years that you need to file, it must be mailed a week. Like, let's say 2005 would be the first year that he had to mail out, and then 2006 would be the following year, and 2007 will be the next. It has to be a week apart, because if the IRS sees several returns, I've heard that you could get into like major criminal action. And actually that attorney, I think he was going to be disbarred because he didn't file several years. So I was able to help him file 10 years worth of returns, and like we were able to do it at the slowest season because we had more time to focus and help him. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I'm done. And if you have any questions, let us know. If you're interested in, bookkeeping, payroll, and sales tax services, I can definitely help you. Again, I highly recommend this service for businesses that are making $10,000 and above. And that's either in gross revenue or profit, or if you're really growing so fast and you're just like so tired and you don't know what bookkeeping, what bookkeeping software you need to purchase. By the way, we pay for your software fees. You don't need to, you don't need to set anything up. We do that. We just take care of everything for you. Delegate everything to us and just trust us that we're going to have it done. I have over 1,000 clients. We prepare so many returns over, the years, and I have no contracts as well. I have no cancellation fees. The service really sells itself. If you need our help, let us know. I love helping business owners. It's my passion. And actually, I'm going to tell you a story later, but it's really my passion of what I do. And there you go. That's it. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.